Roger, when the call came from Roxana to do the lyrics for her Choirbook anthem, what was your response? How did you respond to the call?
With alacrity and trepidation, I think. I thought, well, this is a major commission in a sense, and because people are going to hear it. Because when I write poetry, I always write it for myself. You know, I'm never actually conscious of the fact that it will be published or it will be people will listen to it. It's just for me and myself. Now here I've got to write something that may have a life beyond my little study, my little desk, and the fact that Roxana was involved in it, so this music's going to be good, it's going to be serious. So I had to. You're almost afraid of putting pen to paper at first, and then I had a few ideas kicking around of a poem called Joy at the Sound, and I looked at this poem again, which had never gotten anywhere, and I thought, yes, that's the basis of it. It's joy and it's sound, it's music. So that was the starting point. And of course, I thought it was specifically about the Queen's, you know, the diamond celebration. So there were lots of references to diamonds and that sort of thing, which really weren't necessary and were too confining. And once I got rid of that and said just keep the joy and the sound, it worked for me.
You're going to be remembered of a man of many parts. Tell us at this moment in your career how it's all going for you. What kind of makes up your life at the moment?
Well, it's always a surprise to me. I do enjoy the variety, in a sense, that what I do best is write poetry, but I do find myself, you know, working with a musician of that Roxana's stature wonderfully. Last week I was doing Meltdown with Ray Davis and this sort of thing, and so different variety, and that's great. I was just thinking it's rather nice that it's been performed at the Metropolitan Cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral in Liverpool, because many years ago when it was being opened, this is in the 60s, I was asked to write a poem to celebrate the opening of the Catholic Cathedral. I wrote this poem and it was going to go into the magazine, and they never used it. They said, no, it's a bit irreverent, because there are lines in it about let us see the jeans beneath the cassock, and let tramps go in there and use it and all that, and I didn't like it. And yet when the Anglican Cathedral was, what's the word, reinstated or was celebrated in the 70s, they used that poem to that. So it's a nice crossover there for Catholic and Anglican.
Liverpool and Merseyside have been huge in your development and your work as a poet and as a broadcaster and writer. Tell us about what is quintessentially special about the Liverpool culture. What is it that it contributes so vastly?
Liverpool culture, yes. I mean, it's so much goes on. I mean, people are very sentimental in Liverpool in the best sort of way, very loyal, and they get behind everything. And I've had that in my own work, you know, that I do there. And I go up there a lot and work there. And that'll be great for me. It's an icing on the cake, you know. It's an icing on the diamond.
You've written a lot for children, and you've been identified with the need to teach children about the power of the written word. How important has that been in your career so far?
It's all part of what I do. I mean, if I write a poem, I never think, I'll write a children's poem now or I'll write an adult poem. I just write the poems. And a lot of my most recent book, An Imaginary Menagerie, is animal poems. And I do enjoy going into, I don't go to schools as much now as I used to. The energy levels and things, but I do the theatres. I've been doing Cheltenham festivals and this sort of thing where we have like 500 kids there together, often with their families. I like that. I like the children there with their mums and dads, and they love it's the joy at the sound of words, in a sense.
When Andrew Motion was Poet Laureate, he talked about the difficulty of writing royal-themed poems. It was always difficult to come up with words which wouldn't be criticised. Did you find this easy?
Slightly did, in a funny way, and I know, talking to Caroline Duffy, the same sort of problems there, because, you know, almost everyone who has ever done it has been derided. Everything seems to be, you know, you have so many critics waiting for you to put a foot wrong. And with this was something the same was there. That's the sort of worrying about it. But you've got to get rid of all that. Just think of yourself. Think of the page, the empty page in front of you, and see what the words happen, and the words bubble out, and then the bubbles come into Roxana, and something else happens.
Finally, and this is a real treat for us, would you be so kind as to read the words that you actually wrote, which Roxana then used to fashion her anthem for Choirbook for the Queen?
Can I look at the words and remind myself? So what I was trying to do was find specific images of joy, and then of course bring in the religious aspect. That's got to be there as well, because I go to church and I'm a Catholic, and I wanted to bring that in without being, precious about it and almost like too clerical, if you know what I mean. Joy at the sparrowhawk racing its shadow, joy at the puppy dog chasing its tail, joy at the shimmy of a golden carp, joy at the call of a humpback whale, joy at the cat revving up on the lawn, joy at the frog leapfrogging away, joy at the faith dispelling the darkness, joy at the gift of another new day. Joy at the ear of someone who listens, joy at the eye of someone who sees, joy at the hand of someone who guides us, joy at the heart of pleasures like these, joy at the key unlocking the door, joy at the welcoming kiss in the hall, joy at the strength we find in each other, joy at the one who speaks to us all, joy at the opening of the choir books, joy at the voices old and young, joy at the soul uplifted by music, joy at the sound of an anthem sung.